Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today's video, we're going to haul some drinking water. We don't have a well here and we don't have municipal water. Let's talk about that, and let's put 3,500, 3,600 pounds in the back of a 3/4 ton 6.5 turbo diesel. There's a major storm just north of us, probably a couple miles that way. I thought we were going to get smashed, and I think there's a small window where we can haul some water. Anyways, sorry friends, the mosquitoes are just eating me alive here. I get asked this all the time. Why don't I have a well? Why do I haul water? How does the system work? Let's have a look at the system from the outside and I'll explain to you guys how this works. This is our water tank. We fill it from here. This tank holds about 2,000 gallons. And there's a water line. There's an 1.5 inch water line about 6 feet below ground, and it comes into the house right there. Okay. The reason why it's so low is so that it doesn't freeze in the winter. We put everything below ground. That's just the head, the tank. You guys can actually probably see the outline of the tank is right there. Okay. So that tank holds about 4 loads. So yeah, it's about 2,000 gallons, give or take. Okay, and that line is tied into the bottom and it goes into the house. There's a jet pump in the house and that's what pumps the water through. Let's go fire up the 6.5 diesel. And here she is, my constant companion on this channel. 96 6.5 turbo diesel, 3/4 ton. It's got a 480 LE transmission, 373 gear ratio. 10-ply tires. Now, I'm going to say these trucks get poo-pooed a lot, and that's okay. They are what they are. They're not a powerhouse. They're not a Cummins. They're not a Power Stroke. What they are is a light-duty diesel that'll tow. Now, it's not going to tow heavy, but it'll do most of what most guys want to do. And it's been reliable. And the main thing I like about this truck, it's pretty good on fuel. You know, if you keep her around 65 mile an hour, 100 kilometers an hour, keep your foot out of it, you'll get 22, 21 miles per gallon of this thing. 410 gallon tank. This is what I haul my water in. It's got a 2-inch valve on the bottom. So this tank fulls like 3,600 pounds. So it's pushing the GVW or the GAWR of this truck. Okay, now this has the 12 bolt government axle in it, which is a stout axle. It's got the factory heavy leaf springs, but this truck will not take this load very well without the modification that I did. This truck has airlift airbags and a compressor on it. Okay, I can run these airbags up to 80 psi. I run them at about 40 to 50, and that'll keep this thing level with a full tank of water in it. No problem. And I've been doing it for, how long have I had this truck? 2 years. And pretty much this thing is, all I do is tow trailers and haul water with it, and it does the job. Anyways, let's fire the old beast up and let's go get a load of water. Here's the interior of the old girl. Here's my onboard compressor. If you have a truck and you haul weight, worth every penny. This system's not cheap, but what a difference. There she is. 369,350 kilometers. Let's give her a cold start. I did glow plugs and all kinds of maintenance to this thing. There you go. Okay, so I just want to talk about the old 6.5. This truck has been stone dead reliable. I did do a lot of work to it to get it there, but just little things. Fuel lines, Did some maintenance on the turbo, like the vacuum hoses for the turbo solenoid, or there's vacuum lines that go from the air pump to a solenoid to the boost solenoid, and then from the boost solenoid to the wastegate. I replaced all those. What else have I done to this truck? Oil cooler lines, coolant temperature sensor, all the little things that go wrong with these. All that stuff is cheap. I did complete brakes. It's been a good truck. Now, why don't I have a well? I get that question all the time. So the area I live in on the prairie here is considered poor drainage, meaning all the water sits at the top. You can look at a drainage map of Manitoba. Where I live, it says poor. The ground here is very hard, and the water tends to sit on the first foot. So when we get heavy rain here, it actually floods. So you can't really drill a well where I live, because I guess there's not a lot of water down low here. All the water's up high, and what happens is it'll freeze during the winter. The second problem is, I hear if you do find water here, it's usually not good water. So we don't have water here. The other question I get, well, why don't you just tap into municipal water? Well, one of the bonuses of where I live, friends, is I am miles and miles and miles from the next inhabited property, but that means I'm miles and miles and miles from the municipal water line. It stops miles from me, so I haul water. It is what it is. So basically how it works, there's a standpipe. Most towns here have a standpipe, and all standpipe is a place where you can go get water. Which reminds me, friends, do I have my water fob? There you go. You get a little water fob like this. It's magnet. You have your own account. You do have to pay for water. It's cheap, but you got to go and get it. So I put my water fob in, type in the amount of water I want. It dispenses it to the liter or gallon, however you want to do it, and you're good to go. Anyhow, when we get to the water station, the standpipe, I'll show you guys the deal. This is what I do. I do this minus 40 to plus 40. It is 34 degrees Celsius out. I do not have air conditioning in this truck. It's pretty toasty in here. So I'm going to crank the windows down, and I'll see you guys when I get to the standpipe. Okay, friends, this is your typical prairie standpipe. Put your water fob in there. Water comes out of here. They even got safety sand for the winter. Hook up my hose to there, to here, and I fill from the top. Now, one fun thing, I'm going to show you guys this. I get questions, and I had questions. Airbags. Okay, this truck has a lot of rake from the factory. Let's dump the air out of the airbags. Let's put it at 10 pounds and fill this thing up, and then I'll pump it back up for you guys. Let's dump the air. Okay, I got it at 40 pounds right now. I'll hit the dump switch. There's a dump valve. I usually run this between 5 and 10 pounds. There's a low air switch, like a little solenoid. If you dump it too low, it'll pump air up. Okay, let's leave it like that, and let's fill this tank. You gotta wear flip-flops too while you're doing this, because your feet are getting wet, unless you want to wear rubber boots. Put your water fob in, put your code in, enter. I usually pick liters, put the amount you want in. Light up there goes on, and you start pumping. I'm going to set you guys up so you can see this thing squat. Okay guys, we got about 100 gallons of water in there. I'm going to set you guys up here. Watch this thing squat. I don't know if you guys can see, there's space between the overload and the leaf pack right now. Okay, I'm just gonna set you guys up. In fact, I'll put the top of the bed level with the top of the shot. There you go. Once you start seeing a gap here, you'll know it's squatting. And if you notice, friends, you're starting to see a gap. The truck's starting to squat. There's almost no rake left. Overloads are starting to touch. Okay, friends, I did move the camera a little bit. Same height. Look how low this thing is now. There's no space in between the overload and the leaf springs. And we got about 2,500 pounds of water in there right now. And if you look at this thing, it's squatted right down. Again, we're almost full. Look, you can really see it. This thing's sacked right out. I'll show you guys an overall truck view when we're done. There's a stop button. I'll probably stand there and hit it. I'm not sure how close my calculations were. There's always a little bit of water left in the tank. I'll show you guys the whole truck now, though, and how squatted it is. Now, friends, full load of water. We got about 3,600 pounds in the back. Look how sacked out my truck is. I'm gonna set you guys up and pump this thing up. Watch this, it's pretty cool. Now there's a good illustration. Our 5 pounds became 30 because our bags have some air in them and they've been compressed. Let's pump this thing back up. You hit the switch here. Okay, I'm gonna put this thing to about 70 pounds on my gauge now, so I'm gonna add 40 pounds to it. Friends, I got you guys sitting here. We're on the overloads. The leaf pack is flat. We got no room. I'm gonna hop in, fire the truck up, and let's pump these bags up. Check this out. It's pretty cool. Friends, as you can see, we're at about 78 pounds now. Okay, just by pumping it up, we've jacked the truck back up. Again, wear your sandals or rubber boots. You're getting wet no matter what. Okay, and you do this 2 or 3 times in a row and till your tank's full. Now, friends, I have a legit, with all my tools, I got a bin full of tools. I have my receivers, you know, for towing, all that kind of stuff. I probably have 4,000 pounds in the back of this truck right now. And am I overweight? Yeah, a little bit. This truck, I think this truck's rated for, I did the math, it's like 3,300 pounds or something. So yeah, I am overweight, but it does it just fine. I wouldn't want to do this with no airbags. You could, without airbags, this thing's riding around on the stoppers banging frame, and I don't like that. I did it once, but the nice thing about the airbags is I have weight on the front end. My front end's not dancing. I put quite a few miles on these tires, those GN 3000 tires we put on last year, and I think I've put about 15,000 K on them, and they're not cupped at all, so that tells me I'm doing something right. But anyhow, I just wanted to touch on the airbags. Those are airlift. It's the airlift system. Those are the 5000 series bags with the mounts for a K2500, and I have the onboard compressor. They have fancier ones that you can use a remote and that, but man. Okay, friends, take your transfer hose. Shoot. Open your tailgate. Wiggle handle. Up, 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 down, up. Stick your finger in there because you got a camera. Pull the latch just so on both sides. Set up tripod. Grab tripod. Grab tripod. Push in. Every old truck has a trick, doesn't it, friends? Here, I'll bring you guys right in here. Hook your transfer hose up. Turn the valve on. There we go. Boom. Grab your camera. There she goes. Well, I'm not sure, friends. It might be a 2-load day or a 1-load day. I think it's going to be a 2-load day. Okay, everyone. Hold on a minute. Better light? No. Let's turn this light off. There we go. Depending if it's a 1-load, a 2-load, or a 3-load day, I might do that 2 or 3 times. I try and keep it a 1-load or a 2-load day. It's just quicker. Takes about 45 minutes, an hour. In summer and winter, it's about 2 hours, give or take. Takes a lot longer to get things thawed and get your hoses moving. This is the stuff I do in between filming, friends. Always doing something. There's always something to do here. No matter, what day of the week it is. There's yard work, water hauling, driveway maintenance, getting rid of weeds, lawn mowing, pruning trees. We haul our own garbage here. We don't have garbage pickup. It's just the way that I live. It's definitely not for most people, though. A lot of people want to live out here. They move out here and they go, wow, this is totally different. It was culture shock when we moved out here, friends, but we moved out here for a reason, and we enjoy it. I always let this thing idle, cool down the turbo and all that kind of good stuff. It is 34 degrees right now. I think it's cooled down a little. It's probably about 30 degrees. Anyhow, friends, that's water hauling in a nutshell. So tank buried below ground so it doesn't freeze. 1.5-inch PVC line into the house. Poly line. It's one of those black poly lines into the house. Goes to a 3/4 or 1 horsepower jet pump up through a filter into the hot water tank and all that and into the house. That line will never freeze because the tank is always full of water, and that line is so far below ground, it's below the frost line. Our frost line here is typically about 3 feet. You don't want to let the tank get low in winter, though, because it'll freeze and it'll crack. So a fella's really got to stay on top of it. If you're gonna I was in the hospital one year, friends, and the thing we were worried about the most, I had to stay in the hospital for a week or two. I'll probably talk about that in a video, why I'm happy-go-lucky. Anyways, my one thing I was worried about, I had to call my brother. Can you haul water? Didn't want the tank to run too low. It was cold out. Anyhow, let's get to the question of the day. Question of the day I got this morning from Lisa Shea. Good morning, Lisa. Lisa sent me a message, and Lisa is building her own 372, which I think is awesome. I love when people reach out to me and and say they're working on a saw and that my videos help them. That means the world to me. That is why I'm here. That is the only reason why I'm on YouTube, is to help other people out. Lisa wanted to know what that part is called. The little piece that goes to the carburetor, bolts to the carburetor and holds the throttle cable in a 372. It is called a metal intake support bracket. Friends, those brackets, the plastic ones, the OEM ones, they do warp and they do leak. You will get an air leak there eventually. It's super common on those. That metal bracket was from Wolf Creek Saw Shop. They're about $10. You can get them there. That's where I get mine from. That is such an important upgrade, even on a stock saw. that will never warp and you'll never get that leak there. Probably not never, but you should never. So anyhow, Lisa, thanks for sending that this morning. I appreciate you taking the time to message me. And for everybody else, thank you for hanging out on this channel. I really, really appreciate everyone here. Thanks for watching. Take her easy. Later.